Hello and welcome to today's episode of Focus on Education. My name is Erin Webb. I'm a school board member. Today I have Mr. David Lane from Roan State with me and Miss Amber Roberts from Oak Ridge High School with me today. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
We are here to talk about middle college. So why don't we start at the very beginning? Can you tell us your official titles? And where you are?
I am the assistant principal of curriculum and also the class of 2021 here at Oak Ridge High School.
And I'm David Lane. I'm the director of middle college for Roan State Community College.
Okay. And so middle college is kind of unknown at this point, but getting bigger and getting more students involved. So let's start from the very beginning. What is middle college and the overview of middle college?
Amber, you like this one?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
You jump in whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Very
My perspective of it is it's a way for students to accelerate and get their an associate's degree early. They actually finish their associate's degree before they finish high school. So they're getting a lot of post-secondary experience while still also enrolled at the high school. They are completing college requirements as well as high school requirements in their junior and senior year. So it's a way for them to fast track their bachelor's degree. We expect these kids to go on to their bachelor's degree. It's a way for them to fast track that and get that degree earlier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, especially those degrees that you're looking at, you're going to be in college or universities for a long, extended period of time with, your medical, or if you're going pre-law or something like that, so that it does kind of shorten that up economically, as far as the time that you're having to spend at the university or going on into your graduate level courses. Over time, that's just going to make it a little bit more affordable. So.
True. As a parent of a middle college student, I appreciate that aspect of it. So how, I know this, but how do students get into the middle college? Like what do they have to do to be enrolled?
So there are certain specific requirements tied to the ACT. They have to be meeting ACT benchmarks in different subjects, and I don't remember the exact numbers for each subject.
Right. With our English scores, it's an 18. These are minimum scores, and a lot of our students that go into it hit these or above. Mm-hmm. English is an 18, reading is a 19, and for the middle college program, we look at a 21 in the math section.
Right. So that's our first step. And so we have lots of data that we track at Oak Ridge schools, always watching that ACT as one of our school system's goals is to have a high ACT average composite for our classes. So we're tracking that all the time. So very early on we can see who might be a good candidate, who might be on track to qualify for middle college. After that, it really depends on how far they've gotten in math by the end of their sophomore year. Okay. So we're looking for students who have completed Algebra 2 by the end of sophomore year. And we're also looking for students who have completed biology, preferably honors biology, by the end of their sophomore year. And do we do chemistry as well?
Chemistry is always a benefit if you can complete that. Mm-hmm.
So they're identified their sophomore year, the end of the sophomore year,
yes,
and invited to attend like an informational session where they get the entire rundown at Roan State. Okay, so let's talk about, at that point, once they have to apply to be in the middle college. How many kids do you usually invite, and how many usually end up taking it, enrolling?
Yeah, I think our first group, it may have been 60 or 70 or more. Mm-hmm. With Oak Ridge, there may have been more than that, thinking back on it. So, your initial number may be pretty substantial. So let's ballpark and say 80. Mm-hmm. And then so we send all of those out, of course, with the names and also recommendations from the school. We send letters out inviting them to an information session. You may have about half of that may show up, mm-hmm. Because and here with middle college being so new, I mean, this is our first group getting ready to graduate in Oak Ridge. The novelty, maybe the uncertainty, but I think as time goes on, you see those kind of change as time moves forward. And then we have another follow-up after that initial meeting, and then you really find out who's really dedicated, wanting to actually go and participate in the program. So out of that, if you end up with about a third, a 30% breakdown from your original invitation list, mm-hmm. That seems to be the trend that you see across the program.
Mm-hmm. And then once they're in the program, let's talk about the next step from that, scheduling. So I know that's kind of a fun, a tightrope to walk between high school and they're going to college. They have the Oak Ridge campus. We also have the Harriman campus. So how does the scheduling come together? Because that's a big chunk of it.
Well, it gets harder as time goes on. We found this is our first group that's about to graduate, and so when they were juniors in high school, freshmen at Roan State last year, it was pretty easy to navigate because they're all pretty much taking the same courses. But when they get into that second year, they start to diversify, get into their major courses, and it gets a little harder to schedule. So typically, most of the classes at Roan State are completed in time for students to make it back here for 7th and 8th period. We have a few exceptions this year in our senior class because, again, of those major courses. But we work pretty well together, I think.
Yeah, it's an excellent partnership. I mean, we talked about this for quite a few years, and I'm not because she's just sitting here, but love working with Amber. She's a really good partner to work with. We communicate well, and and it works out wonderful for the students, which is the main reason. So and Amber's right. When you start trying to schedule, you've got one group of students that are wanting to go into pre-med. You've got other groups that are wanting to go into engineering, and then we have to look at our schedule and see when those are offered on our campuses, and also making sure that they can get back in time. I think 12:30-ish with Oak Ridge. So trying to make those things work. And we do have some situations to where the faculty at Oak Ridge High School have been great, and Amber and I have been able to figure out a way to make it work to where they can do their classes at Roan State, but still be able to get their high school requirements. And so it's everybody working together for that good of that one student in that situation.
That's fantastic. So is the counseling department involved as well here at the high school? I figure
Definitely.
How many people would you say are involved in this?
There are 5 counselors. So we ask, and they track their students' courses they take and their testing scores and all of that from the time they are in 8th grade until the time they graduate. So the counselors put together their list from their caseload, send those to me. We compile all that, make sure we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, send those over to Dave at Roan State. So there's 6 of us just here.
Yeah. I have an assistant, so the 2 at our main office, and then we pull in a lot of people on the campuses as well. Because there's 4 campuses for Roan State that have middle college programs, and so can't be everywhere at once, but we have a lot of people on each of our campuses that are able to keep an eye. When I say keep an eye, they're there for the students. If something comes up or they need something, the students, they know who to reach out to. I would say one of their best resources on our campus is Maggie Bolden. She does our Comp 1, Comp 2, and our Lit. Our students love her, but she loves them back, and so it's kind of like we call it a faculty mentor. So if anything that they need, she's there for them, and so she can communicate to me if we have a need, and then I can run up and make sure we're checking on everybody. So it takes a small village, but I think the rewards are definitely worth it.
And the students also are able to take advantage of some of the resources at Roan State, the tutoring center, different things like that. So that's a perk.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's everybody's there for. Of course, those are free of charge. They get the same resources as a regular Roan State student would get, and we try to treat them. Well, we do. We treat them just like a regular college student because they are a college student at least till 12:30 in the afternoon.
Then they can come back and be a high school student. Speaking of that resources, what about funding? Because the cost is lower, but there is a little bit of a cost involved with any kind of college classes. So how's the funding scholarship situation?
From the state perspective, this last fiscal year, the state has a middle college scholarship, and that's worth $1,000 per semester, and that's a renewable scholarship for 4 semesters as long as the student maintains a 3.0 GPA at Roan State. If the student falls below that 3.0, even just the slightest bit, then that scholarship is gone permanently. Now, there's also the dual enrollment grant, which regular dual enrollment students can utilize, but middle college students can utilize that as well, as long as it's a 2.75 GPA or above. So we always tell them, that one is, the way we allocate it is at least $500 per semester. So it's not the 1,000, but it's still something, and every bit helps when you're putting students through college. We have had an incredible group of community support, we've had individuals, we've had corporate sponsors that have realized what these students are doing, because these students, it's a special group because they don't qualify for Tennessee Promise, they don't qualify for lottery, and they don't qualify for the Pell Scholarship or Pell grants through the federal government because they're high school students still. So even though that they are the motivated, achieving students, the way things are written right now, it's a limitation. So we explain that, and I think a lot of people in the community see that there is a financial need to help these young people out. And so it's again, that's just another part of your community.
And doesn't that save them for when they do transfer to college, they are eligible at that point, correct?
Yes.
It doesn't ruin their eligibility.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's always a perk if you can wait it out, right?
Yes. And when they do transfer out, when they hit that, of course, the associate's degree is 60 hours with Roane State. When they hit that 60-hour mark at the universities, the lottery goes up incrementally until you hit the 60-hour mark. And of course, they're going in with 60, so they'll hit the max amount going into their university setting.
Okay. Well, that again, if people can wait it out, there's money
Right, absolutely.
on down. One more before we take a break. Please explain the difference between dual enrollment and middle college, because there's a little bit of a confusion there.
So students who are at Middle College and go to Roane State, they are dually enrolled. That means they're enrolled in a class at Roane State and a class at the high school. We also have individual classes that students can take. For example, we have a dual enrollment statistics class that we offer right here at our high school. And so students can take that just as a one-off dual enrollment class. They want to try to get a math credit out of the way for when they do go on to college. So individual courses can be taken here at the high school that are dual enrollment, but middle college is like a whole different experience. You are doing all dual enrollment.
Gotcha. There is some confusion on that, so I think they're two different animals. It's apples and oranges.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with some of our middle college students. Hello, and we are back with our discussion on middle college. Today we have joining us Caroline Webb and Cameron Malone, both current Oak Ridge High School seniors / middle college juniors. Sophomores. Perfect. Thank you guys for joining us.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And we also have Mr. Lane and Miss Roberts with us as well. So why don't we start off with a day in the life of a middle college student.
Do you want to go first?
Want to tell us what's a typical day like for a middle college student?
So usually I get to sleep in a little bit because my classes are a little bit later than the high school. Because the high school, they start at like 7:45, but the class today that I had started at 9:30.
Okay.
So I got to sleep in a little bit, and then I eat breakfast, and then I go to class, and then at 12:20, when I get out of my second class, today I didn't have time to go get food because it's a short day, but It's really not that bad on Wednesdays because you're not in school too long and you get to leave. When on a typical day, I usually go somewhere like Walmart to get some lunch because I like going there. And then I just come back to the high school and hang out until I have class.
So what two classes did you have at the middle college?
So today I had Calculus 2, and then right after I had British Literature. And then now, last term, last semester I had econ for 7th period, but now I have I'm student aiding for my track coach. It's actually kind of funny, but and then I have a guided study, which is like study hall.
Okay.
But
So then you're free to do track after school.
yeah,
right?
then I go
Okay.
do track or other stuff like workout.
High school
Yes.
things, right? Yes, high school
Yeah.
things. What about you, Caroline? What is your schedule like?
So usually in the mornings, I'll come here and I'll do the morning announcements at 7:50 with all the news you need to know. And then my first class doesn't start until 9:30, so I'll go to my first class. Today it was Brit-Lit, and so I did that, and then that ended at 10:50, so I worked on my online class for a little bit. And then I had to come over at, Wednesday, 11:27, and then I did my 2 classes, and then I get to go home after that because I don't have an 8th period.
Well, you guys make it sound like it's so easy, but you're doing college level courses in addition to high school level courses and some online courses, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you just finished an accelerated course
Yeah.
last week. So just, it sounds so simple, so easy. What is your overall impression of middle college so far? I know this is your second year. You're both going to graduate. You'll have your associate's degree. Then you'll get your high school diploma. So, what is your overall impression of the program? You guys are the guinea pigs, like the first little group.
Definitely for some of my opportunities that I've been like selecting for college, it's really helped for me to get ahead. Because I don't want to be like in college forever. Because then I may miss out on some opportunities for jobs and whatnot. And so also with my age, graduating early, I can get a head start on most people. And so I'd say like with taking the courses, I mean, since they're college level courses, it's a better experience sometimes than taking classes at the high school because you get a real feel for it, I guess you could say. And so that'll help me be prepared if I have to retake a course in college, I'll already know how to, like, what to do. So yeah, I've had a pretty good experience.
And I would say the same thing for me. I think it's a very good like half step in between high school and college because it's not like a university, but it's a good stepping stone. It's really helped me with my time management and all that kind of stuff. And I've really enjoyed it. It's more of an independent style of learning. So you've got to really crack down on yourself, but I enjoy it and I enjoy the freedoms and things like that.
Nice. And Ms. Roberts, we were talking about this earlier. This isn't for everyone, right? What is the ideal middle college student?
Right. So I think a little earlier we touched on students who are looking at pursuing career paths that require a long time in school. They're going to require not only a bachelor's but probably an advanced degree like a master's degree or going to medical school. Definitely would be a candidate for middle college. Also, we talk about students. We have a very rigorous AP program here where students can earn college credits here at the high school. We have other dual enrollment courses that we offer here at the high school. We counsel our students to be really knowledgeable about what's going to happen after high school. So if they're looking at super highly competitive schools like your MITs or Harvards, middle college might not be the right path for you. We have some other paths here at Oak Ridge High School that will prepare you for that route. But if a student's looking at going on and pursuing a degree here in Tennessee, especially, then we say give middle college a chance, take a look and see if it's right for you. Also, these students are very self-motivated, highly responsible students who we can count on to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there and do the work they're supposed to do and submit that work on time. So all of those soft skills that are not really part of a curriculum here at the high school, but they certainly learn as part of just being able to function in school, which will also make them good employment candidates. So that would be some of my. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think you're exactly right. It's that highly driven, that highly motivated student that does have, or can easily learn the responsibilities of taking care of you, that you don't need to be guided, but you're able to understand and learn from your environment as well. So and I agree. It's not for everyone. We were talking about numbers that come in. It's the ones that do come in when they get there. I think they really enjoy the experience. It is tough. But at the same time, the ones that, if they make the choice and they realize, no, this is, so we don't want that. We don't want anyone coming in. The AP is a great option. Your regular high school is a great option. Middle college is a great option. It's what's right for that student at that time.
And I encourage, if students are thinking about it or have questions, to always call their school counselor here at school. And parents too. They have an open door policy. Pick up the phone, give them a call, shoot them an email. They're happy to answer any question that you might have about, is this the right program for me? And they can really help guide you in that decision.
Perfect. And because I know being organized is key for any of the paths you take in life. So it's good that you're extra organized to do this. So just talking about this is the first class that's going to be graduating from middle college. How many students will be graduating this year?
We have 14.
That's exciting.
Yeah, 14. It's a large number if you think about an initial cohort coming through. So, Yeah, 14 will be going through that. I think we're right at 75 to 80 students that will be graduating on Friday, May the 8th, I believe that is, Friday night. So everybody will be graduating with other groups, other associate's degrees from Roan State, but that'll be at our Harriman campus. And if you look at program-wide, with the graduates, with that group, then we have probably around 170 program-wide. And this group will be part of the figure that'll put Roan State's middle college program over the 220 mark as far as graduates since 2016 with our first graduating class. So,
That's correct. So how many different schools in the area participate in the middle college program?
if you look at high schools that we have partnerships with, I believe I think we have 13 high schools that we work with. In Anderson County, we have Anderson County, Clinton, and of course Oak Ridge. We work with Campbell County High School, with Roan County, the 5 high schools there, 2 high schools in Cumberland County, and also Morgan County and Ray County. Ray County's not in our service area, but a lot of those students that live within versus going to Chattanooga, they decide to drive up a 30-minute trip up to the Harriman campus. So
We are especially lucky that you're here in Oak Ridge.
we feel blessed to be here too.
So guys, what are your future plans? Let's get those words together. What are your future plans? Like, what do you want to do? How is this going to help you?
So for me, obviously, if I don't go the track route all the way, because I do run track and I want to get a scholarship for that too, but I've also been thinking about engineering, and so I actually found a school where they'll take most of my credits for middle college, which is North Carolina A&T, and so I'd definitely like to get a head start there for engineering. So that's what I plan to do.
And I would love to pursue family law. That would be my big thing, and then eventually establish myself, and I can do immigration law and stuff on the side. But that would be my dream.
So as middle college students, do you feel like you had a good balance of high school and college experience through this? Do you feel like you missed out on anything? Do you feel like, it sounds like you feel like you're ahead, but what's your overall?
A little, maybe like making friends from classes, but I really felt like I missed out on high school. Like my first 2 years, I felt like when I came back after, I really felt like the school hadn't moved on from me or anything like that, or everybody forgot about me. But yeah.
I feel like that at work sometimes.
I'd say the same thing. It didn't feel like anything. It felt like I'd been here all day. Like, you just carry on with doing what you're doing, and it all works out.
I think a big, I'm going to interject here, I think a big key to that is being sure that you're tied back to Oak Ridge High School. You can still be involved in our clubs and athletic opportunities, and going to the ball games, and still making sure that you keep yourself active back here at the high school really helps with that feeling of feeling still connected to the school.
And I think that's something that, with the way that our partnerships work, that we have that blended model, if you will, that we want our students to be able to come back and be Oak Ridge High School students and graduates. And a lot of the institutions that do a middle college program and other places throughout the country, you totally unplug from your high school. So if you wanted to, if you went to, let's say Kansas City, we'll just use that, and Kansas City Middle College, and I pull away, I don't go back to my high school ever. So those are severed. So this is a great way to maintain your friendships and those relationships and still do the programs.
Oh, yeah. So from you two, one tip for next group of middle college students, what would be your one biggest, I'm sure Caroline said she had a whole list of things, organization things, but what's your number one tip for upcoming middle college students?
I mean, it's a good tip for me. I'm not saying I do this because I don't, but show up to class. Actually go. Because I've seen, some people, not me or not anybody in middle college, but some people they don't show up, and then they come for like a couple of days, and then all of a sudden they're panicking about, complaining about, being behind, or I don't know what's going on. So just show up to class consistently. You'll do fine.
That's a good tip.
That is. And I think mine, from like a study standpoint, because I've taken a lot of online classes through like winter break and summer break and all those kinds of things. I think my biggest thing is always take notes, and then at the end of like your chapter, add it to like a sheet. Like I make a sheet of everything and organize it by like key terms and things like that. So then when you take your test, it's open notes. So you can just Command F, search in the spreadsheet, search what term you need, and it pops up, and then you ace it.
So organization.
Yes, but that one in particular, that one's always helpful.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for joining me. I know everyone here has a busy schedule, so thank you both for being here. Thank you both for being here. And until next time, that will be the end. Thank you.